Good evening, families. Welcome to Harrison Prep. It's nice to actually have some people in the building. So welcome, welcome. I am Kevin Ruprecht, the very proud principal of Harrison Prep, and tonight myself and Tracy Lund, our assistant principal, will share information with you in person and online. All of the things you want to know about Harrison Prep and making the best decision for your child and coming here this next school year. So we're thankful for your attendance this evening, both in person and online. I'm glad you're all here. Please raise your hands and comment online as well. How many of you are representing students that are currently fifth graders going to be sixth graders next year? Perfect. How many seventh, eighth graders? How many high schoolers? Good. It's just a good, I'd like to get a pulse of who we're looking at for being here this next year. Harrison Prep, if you didn't know, is an international baccalaureate world school. What does that mean? IB is an organization of schools around the world that was developed actually 53 years ago now, right after World War II. A bunch of educators from a lot of different countries from the world decided to get together to develop a high rigorous college readiness program to prepare students, because those idealists at the time thought and believed and still do hold the principles of the IB still, that education is the most powerful tool to end conflict, right? World War II was a tremendous upheaval for our world. And these educators and world leaders wanted to find a better way of ending conflict with higher educated students. And so we do, we value the principles of IB. And I'm not clicking, so would you kindly tap it for me?
Our other moderators asked you to stay a little bit closer to the computer as well. That's right.
There you go.
Stay closer.
I wander, that's no problem. So we do. We want our students to be active and compassionate, lifelong. So those are some of the values of IB, the values that we actually prep. And they line up to the values of our school district's pillars that we instill into our students as well. We really want our kids to be college ready, and beyond that, college earning, right? So one of the things that I'm always talking about, whether it's to our sixth graders, to our ninth graders, to our seniors, Harrison Prep exists to prepare students for the university and college and the armed forces and the workforce, anywhere that they want to go. But we want them to be college ready and college earning, not just high school graduates, but beyond. For those of you that are in the room, and if you look to the posters in the back, those are the students of the last 5 years who have earned the IB diploma on top of the Harrison Prep Clover Park School District diploma. Okay? It's two parts. We have two parts of the IB experience here at Harrison Prep. We have the middle years program, and we have the DP program. Grades 6 through 10 is our middle years program. And the whole purpose behind the middle years program is to prepare kids for the junior and senior year experience. I'm going to start backwards. The junior and senior year experience is 2 years of the same courses. So it's like taking a one long super course, but all 8 of them for the 2 years period of the junior and senior year. At the end of that time, they've done a whole mess of papers, internal assessments, been reviewed, they've done oral examinations, and they'll do a final examination in May of that senior year. And when the IB assessors evaluate the total body of work of the students, that determines their level of readiness and earning power towards the IB diploma. Now, we're pretty proud of those students up there, but we're really proud of all of our graduates every single year, because over 90% of our graduates every single year earn college credit on these exams in this experience of ours in at least one subject area or more. The students on those posters back there have earned the university credit on all of their subjects. The middle years program, and for most of you that are watching and or here tonight, this is the preparation for this program. We are trying to instill these values of being a lifelong learner, collaborative, risk taker, being an inquirer, getting them involved in personal projects, community projects, community service in all of the subject areas so that they can identify the passion areas that they are most interested in by the time they get into the last 2 years in the Leaders program and into the DP program. We want students to have a good bearing of where they want to go long before they enter the DP program. So when we start working with them on college applications and universities and scholarships and all of that, they know what kind of major they want, they know what kind of school they want to go to, they have a trajectory because we want to help propel them and launch them into that goal and dream that they want. And that journey does start in 6th grade. Some of you are coming to join us at any of the grades, and that's great because we don't care when your student joins us. We just want your student for as long as possible to make a lasting impression on their lives for the future. All of our students take the core subject areas. And when I say core, I mean everything is core. There is no electives here at Harrison Prep, okay? So our students are taking literature and language classes every year that they're here. They're taking a language acquisition class every single year. Here at Harrison Prep, that course is Spanish. We want our students to graduate dual language proficient. And speaking of which, I should say this, tonight's broadcast is being recorded, so this will be posted onto our website in the next couple of days. And if there's anyone in the room that needs interpretive services, one of our world language Spanish teachers is here tonight for any assistance that she can provide. All of our students are taking Individuals and Societies, which is our history courses. All students are taking sciences, mathematics. In the middle years program, the students are going to take a circulation of arts, design, and physical health education. Because what we want here at Harrison Prep is our students to have a well-rounded experience in all of their subject areas so that when they finally do get to the DP program, they can focus on the various subject areas that are most passionate about. For example, when they do get to high school, they're going to have to make some choices. For science, you're either going to take an environmental science course for those final 2 years in high school, or they're going to take chemistry, whichever is best for them and their goals for college and university beyond. One of the favorites of our students is the Theory of Knowledge class. And this is a complex class of deeper and higher level thinking. It takes into effect, how do we know what we know? Why do we know what we know? What are the various forms of knowledge? And how do we acquire it and share it? It's a fan favorite amongst our seniors and juniors every single year. But as you can see, there's no room for other electives. These are the course offerings that we offer to our students. These are more specific to the learner profile traits. These are values that we try to instill into our students. These are learning principles. These are living principles. These are values that we want to instill. Students to be solid communicators, to be principled, risk takers, caring, open-minded, inquirers. I've mentioned some of these already before. We talk about these. They're in lesson plans. They're built into our advisory curriculum. This is the experience that we want for our students. We want our students to be awesome people, not just smart in a subject area, but we want them to be great people. I'm going to turn over this one for a few moments.
So I don't know this that one, sorry. So I'm going to talk about our daily life for our students here at Harrison Prep. So a few things that you might need to know is we have 8 periods. So that's 8 classes your students will take each semester, but they're broken down into 4 periods per day. So we're on an A-B schedule. So one day you'll do periods 1 through 4, the other day you'll do periods 5 through 8. So it rotates every day. So you don't have all your classes every day, but it is a rotation. So throughout the semester, you'll get an equal amount of that class time for each of your classes. Some concerns usually about coming to HP, because this is a 6 through 12 school, is that it has grades 6 through 12. So your 6th grader might be the seniors. So I want to quell any, anxiety you might have about that. Our students aren't together a lot. They're together in the mornings, getting off the bus in the cafeteria. They're together in the halls during passing periods, and they're together at dismissal. The rest of the time, classes are pretty much grade level specific. In the upper grades, there might be some 11, 12 classes, 10, 11 classes, but to start 6 through 8, there aren't any classes where a 6th grader would ever be with like a 9th grader. So I just want to make sure, and you hear me, and no anxiety there, that we're not going to have 6th graders in classes with our high schoolers. We do have school-wide themes every year for our students to really energize and bring the spirit to our school. This year, our theme, if we look up there, is Pumas Assemble. So we're going with the superhero theme. It really goes with the masks. So we went with that this year. We have 4 houses this year, where each house is in your advisory and compete against each other to earn points. And then at the end of each semester, there'll be rewards and parties and, things to really get kids motivated to participate in those spirit days and participate in activities. We do have some opportunities for our older students to mentor our younger students in a structured setting. We have 3 lunches in this room you're sitting right now. We have 3 lunches. So our 6th and 7th graders have lunch together, our 8th and 9th graders, and then our 10th, 11th, and 12th graders have lunch together. We do have buses for the entire district. If you live within Clover Park School District, we have a bus that will pick you up. We also have buses for activities after school. So know that if you're coming to HP, we will get you here if you live within our district. And our staff experience, as a staff, we really try to be collaborative. We try to instill fun in the teaching and learning here at Harrison Prep. We are a staff that really likes to spend time together outside of school, but also inside of school, they're always working together to make sure that your student is getting the best possible education. We vertically align. So another great thing about HP is teachers who teach 12th grade know what the 6th graders are learning, so we can align it so they're scaffolding and learning each year to build upon all the skills that they've previously learned. It is a great bonus. I've been at other schools. It's a great bonus. Another great thing about HP is the teachers get to develop those relationships for 7 years. So they really get to know your students and how they learn, because they might have them in 6th grade and then have them again in 10th grade. So it's really nice to know the students and how their learning styles are and which way they can best serve your student to be the best that they can be. And then finally, we do have clubs and activities. So I talked about that activity bus. So 3 days a week, we have something called HBX, where it provides academic support after school, and it provides a time for club study. So we have a plethora of ASB and HBX clubs. You can see up here, just a smattering of them. We have art field, we have chess club, we have key club, we have green team. We do have an ASB, Associated Student Body, where you can be an officer in that and make decisions for the student body and spend money for the clubs. We have robotics. We have a knowledge bowl that competes against other schools. That's like our sport. And speaking of sports, if you do come to HP, we do not have our own athletic program, but we do allow students to participate at any of their school, of any of the other schools in the district, whichever one is your home school. Or if you're in middle school, we also have a relationship with Lockburn where you can participate at Lockburn for any of our middle schoolers. So you don't have to live in Lockburn's area, but it's because it's so close, it makes it easy for our students to get to Lockburn to compete there. For high schools, you can compete at CP or Lakes, or if you're out of district, compete at your home school in the out of district. Anything else to add to that? Okay.
So one of the other things I wanted to mention was the high rigorous learning that we try to provide to our students. We want our students to excel and advance at their rate. And sometimes faster than what the student wants, because we do believe that our students are capable of far more sometimes than what they give themselves credit for. One of those examples is this. When our students are in 7th grade, I told you that every student's taking Spanish as a world language. Our 7th graders are taking high school Spanish 1 in 7th grade and earning high school credit on their transcript ahead of time. The same is true in our math department. Students are able to take algebra in 7th grade if they have the right high enough math scores and recommendations from their 6th grade teachers to be able to take algebra in 7th grade and up to geometry in 8th grade. But we want all of our students, no matter what, taking algebra in 8th grade, because we know that the further they are able to advance in the mathematics, the higher level of success they will have in the college and university settings that will set them up for higher success in their adult lives. And that's what we want. We want our students to be successful. We want them to feel that success and that experience of success early on and have it just build upon and snowball effect in a positive way through their entire Harris Prep experience. It's a great advancement for our students to be able to graduate from the Public School District Harrison Prep with far more than 30 credits on our transcript. Some of our graduates graduate with 36 to 37, sometimes 38 credits because of the opportunities that we offer them here at Harrison Prep. So how do we get into Harrison Prep? That's why you're all really here. So starting on February 1st, online on our school Harrison Prep webpage, and your handout will explain this as well. There's 3 steps. The first step is, well, you're here, or you're attending online. Congratulations, you successfully can check off that mark. The second step is to get onto our website on February 1st and fill out the 2 links that are necessary. One is the enrollment request in that form, and the second is the waiver form. And that will be dependent upon what your geographical situation is, right? So if you're an in-district family, you're going to fill out that in-district waiver request to transfer to Harrison Prep. There's an out-of-district transfer request as well, and there's a third one that I'm blanking at the moment. All of our documents will be alive in both English and Spanish. And why February 1st? Everything we do at Harrison Prep follows our district policies and or state laws in regard to enrollment practices and procedures. So February 1st is the start of the enrollment session. All enrollment applications, once both forms are complete, that's when the application is digitally marked complete and goes into the digital queue in order of completion. We do not have any rank or favorites of how that works. It's just when the family has completed both forms, it's timestamped, and that becomes the order. Then, once that is complete, then we follow the rest of our district procedure in organizing based on in-district requests and out-of-district requests. In-district requests will be filled first. Every year, we enroll 150 sixth graders to our incoming 6th grade class. Our 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, we have a wait list. And those numbers of how many we invite to Harrison Prep off the wait list based on this enrollment here in February is based on the numbers of positions or seats that we have available in that grade level. We take all students. We are a fully inclusive school. All of our special ed students, all of our 504 students, all of our students are all in classes together. We want our students to experience the full Harrison Prep experience. We do offer ELL services. We offer the full package. There are, I will say this, some IEPs that we are unable to facilitate due to staffing and or building limitations. I will say this, Harrison Prep, just like any other school, no school is perfect. We do the best we can to serve every student that we are able to, but there are some situations that we are just not equipped or staffed to facilitate. The enrollment window will be open from February well into March. And then once we get into March and April, we then start the sorting process. And it's not until late May, April and May, that we start notifying our families of their acceptance into Harrison Prep. And again, it's all based on when you've completed the online enrollment forms and in district versus out of district. Now, this wait list is sometimes frustrating to families. We only have 150 seats for the sixth graders each year. And sometimes what we'll find is a student and a family will be accepted to Harrison Prep, and then before the school year starts, a student's family will be PCS, or another life decision has forced the family to move. And then we'll call the next family on the wait list. So we maintain that wait list all throughout the year. We are still pulling students off of the wait list, and we'll be enrolling them for the start of this next semester. So just because you may not initially get to Harrison Prep, we maintain the wait list for the entire school year, so we can get your student in here as appropriate. And if we contact you and we can't get a hold of you, then we keep moving down the wait list. So we ask that if you have phone numbers that change, or email addresses that change, or mailing addresses that change, please notify us as quickly as possible so that we can keep our wait list maintained. Now, I'm going to pause for questions from any of you and to entertain some from online. Don't be bad. I know there's got to be questions. Yes, ma'am. So in regard to our arts offerings here at Harrison Prep, we offer visual arts, which is draw, paint, and limited sculpture. And that is offered through our 6 through 12 courses. All of our students will experience in the middle years program, grades 6 through 8, those first 3 years at NYP, will experience a rotation through both the visual arts and the choral arts. When students get to the junior and senior year for the DP program, they have to choose either the visual or the choral or the film, because film also is a third arts offering that is aligned to our career and technical education design department. So students take design courses, computer-based courses, tech-based classes throughout their experience here at Harrison Prep, and then they get to choose whether they want to continue in the film or choose a different pathway. Our students, we have a fantastic drama program that's after school during our HBX times. They just had a performance this last, right in December, and they're preparing for our spring musical, which will be Beauty and the Beast. So it's a phenomenal award receiving program from Fifth Avenue Theater up in Seattle has recognized our theater program and has received awards and recognition from them. We also offer several choir clubs and activities during the HPX time as well. But I'm sad to say we do not offer band or orchestra. That is one of the programs that we do not have facility for. Great question.
Every year, gone at the 9th grade. Every year, February 1st.
Yes. So the question was, if my student does not get into Harrison Prep this next year because of the wait list, will I have to do this enrollment process again this next February? The answer is yes. We maintain it for a year and then we reset. I will say this, there's usually enough transition of students that our maintenance of our high school years is able to be facilitated.
And how far behind? But I know they'll start at sixth grade. Grade out, fifth grade out. How far behind?
Great question. Will my student be behind if he's joining Harrison Prep in 9th grade or 10th grade or 8th grade or anything other than 6th grade? The answer is no. Your student's not going to be behind. We are going to jump them in right into our Harrison Prep experience right where they're at. So whatever math class they're at, whatever Spanish level they're at, we're going to put them into the appropriate classes for them, and we're going to give them the
there's
Harrison
a
Prep
question.
experience.
Yeah, oh, that's one.
They will not be behind. But we encourage them to jump on in. Yes, ma'am. How much is our what? Great question. I should put that slide up here. It fluctuates. That's why we don't. We take in 156 graders, and we usually have a carrying capacity of about 135-ish 7th graders and 135-ish 8th graders. I use the word ish a lot. Okay. 9th grade is around 110 to 120. 10th grade is around 80 to 90. Juniors is around 60. And seniors is around 60. Like right now, off the top of my head, we have 55 seniors and 56 juniors currently. So that's pretty much how it's maintained. We want approximately 750 students here at Harrison Prep. So the easy math would say, well, that's about 100 kids per grade. Well, we don't have 100 kids per grade. We have a different matriculation than that. And that's just what our numbers have been for the last 5 or 6 years. Great question.
Online question about credits and if they are PCS or leave HP, what happens with the transition process?
That's a great question. So we do have students that have their families either PCS or have a life happening that requires them to move and leave Harrison Prep. Any credits, high school-based credits, whether they're earned in 7th grade or 8th grade, 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th, will transfer on a Washington State Low Park School District Harrison Prep transcript. We have students that have this every life. We have students that move. And every year we have Mrs. Cox, our IB coordinator, who is very sorry she's not here this evening. She will sit down with the family and help you find an IB school, if that's what you want, near to where you're moving, to see if that's an option. And every year, unfortunately, we have a student that's leaving us here at the semester, and they'll be transferring to another IB school and able to continue their IB journey, and they're a junior. So we try to accommodate and assist the families in all of that transition. Great question. I know there's other topics that I should be talking about. I can't think of them. Yes. Some. So why is there a difference? It's hard to answer that question entirely. There are some students every year that do leave Harrison Prep after the sophomore year to do try Running Start. Running Start is not for everybody. And I am not going to disparage any other college preparation program. Harrison Prep's an IB program, and that's what I want to promote. But I'm not going to disparage Running Start because it's good for some students. Just like AP is good for some students. AP and IB are drastically a different learning experience. AP just doesn't have all of the components to the experience that Harrison Prep does. Yeah, right here. When we talk about the CAS project and the theory of knowledge and the extended essay, these are all high rigorous activities that our students are engaged in. The AP program does not offer. And that's just, we want our students and our families to choose what's going to be best for them with the life goals that they have for themselves. And so Harrison Prep isn't for everybody. We are what we are, what we're offering to our students to the best of our ability. Yes, sir. We have so what happens if my student is struggling academically, starts falling behind? So we try to do our best with family engagement and communication to let the families know that we're starting to see some falling behind, not getting homework in, lower test scores, whatever it might be. And we want to start that dialogue with families as soon as the teachers start seeing it. Secondly, we're going to start applying in-classroom interventions and supports that the teams of teachers work on developing during our Wednesday late starts that we have. That's when they're planning their instruction and their interventions for students that are struggling. Then we also have after-school tutoring that Mrs. Lund spoke to during HPX time, where we have teachers from all of the subject areas on a rotation during the course of the 3 days that we offer. So students can come in for additional academic support. Finally, they can be working with their teachers on appointment times as well. And most of our teachers are available now on Teams a lot for that type of opportunity as well. So we try to make sure that our students are successful. And the truth is, students are going to find struggle, and sometimes students have got to find themselves through that struggle, whether they're going to accept some of the assistance and the interventions or not. And it's a process, and it's a learning process, and that's one of the benefits that Ms. Lund was getting at, is that it's rewarding for us to see that experience, even though students might dip and struggle, but to come out of that. And that's going to happen to any number of our students throughout the course of the 7-year experience, or the 4-year experience, or the 3-year experience, or however long that we have the students with us at Harrison Prep. Yes, we want our students here from 6th to 12th grade, but that's not always reality. We have plenty of students who have left their mark here, their legacy at Harrison Prep, who have only been here for a year or two. And that's what we want for us. We want them. Ms. Lund was talking about our clubs and activities. Every single one of those clubs and activities, and that was not the full list, has been started by students. Everything is driven by our students. Our assemblies that we have is all directed by the students. They just tell me when to get to the microphone and speak. They tell me the topic that I'm supposed to speak about. They're organizing it. They're planning it. That's what we're trying to empower for our students in all subject areas and in all ways. It's a learning process. Yes. What have our graduates said about our program? That's a great question, and we love that question because they come back and pester us all the time, and we love it. Every winter break, they come back and they tell us, wow, I am so glad that I was at Harrison Prep because I learned how to write a university level paper, the extended essay, while I was in high school and didn't have to do that the hard way. And where are our seniors going? Like, we have students that are at Harvard. We have students at Princeton. We have students at UW. We have students at WSU, PLU, down in Oregon. We have students studying abroad in Spain. We have students in Texas. I mean, we have students going to great and amazing places. We have students, graduates, graduates that are serving the armed forces. We have students that are on mission. We have students and graduates that are doing amazing things. And we can't be more proud of them. We have an 85%, we have a 100% graduation rate for the last 5 years. And we have an 85% college and university acceptance rate, with those last 15% choosing to either go into the workforce before they go to college and university, taking a gap year, which I will advise them to do. I want them to go to college, or go get a job, or go make something of themselves. And they do. For the Puma share of our graduates, they are. And we're really proud of them. For that 15%, they are contributing to their communities. students, to their families, everybody is. So we are extremely proud of all of our graduates. I think that was a little bit long enough wait time. So I'm going to say this. I appreciate everybody joining us this evening. We'll entertain any other questions that you may have. But I have a question for you. What are you doing on February 1st? Filling out the online forms. How many forms are there? 2. When will your application be electronically signed? When both forms are complete. That's when you'll get the digital signature, at least the timestamp for us that you are complete. On behalf of Tracy Lund, our assistant principal, and myself, we appreciate your attendance this evening, and we look forward to having your students join Harrison Prep this next school year. Thank you.